Okay, let me get my Instagram going. Perfect. Hello, hello, my DWL fam. It is Coach Mel here. Happy Sunday. We are going to talk about how to navigate tricky work environments. I am going to preface this by starting this out saying, oops, sorry. I am not a part of any actors equity or any union situation. So this is not going to involve talking about any actors equity or union situation. So I'm not going to be talking about any of that stuff. Just more mindset and typically just trying to figure out how to navigate those tricky work environments. I have some background in working in some very tricky work environments, some toxic work environments, very hard work environments, especially being performers, and how to keep a positive outlook and really how to just survive in those environments, just because I know it is hard. And especially as performers, it is hard to really stay positive and stay in that knowing that it is what it is. We need to find those people who help us go in and do our jobs every day, because we do have to be on. We have to perform for a living. We have to not let the outside world affect our performance and affect what we are putting on stage and our product that we're putting out and how we are performing and really just what we are doing and everything else. So let's get into it. My first advice: how to navigate tricky work environments. We need to create boundaries for ourselves. Boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. Yes, it is 2023. Boundaries are really, really great. I mean, for any aspect of life, but work especially. I have really started installing that in myself personally this year. It has been a lifesaver for me. And I'm not knocking where I work currently, but just for my mental health and for what I have been going through personally, family wise, it has really helped me boundary wise in setting those boundaries for myself and protecting me, myself, my energy, and my mental health, because really we have to look out for ourselves. Yes, we want to put our best foot forward and we want to be the best performer. We want to be professional. We want to be the best. However, in our industry, we can be replaced like that. So, yes, we want to be the best. However, we need to make sure that we are protected. So, creating those boundaries first. Whatever is going on in your workplace, do not take it personally. That is hard, because if you're someone like me, we are around the same people every single day, 6, 7 days a week, whatever. You're there from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., or you're there for 2 shows a day that are 4 hours. That's 2 hour shows. You're there from half-hour call, or even before then if you're doing your makeup at the theater. So you really need to create a bubble and be like, oh, this person is coming in with this energy. Don't take it personally. Everyone has things going on in their life. So everyone is dealing with something. So you know that people are going to come into work with their own things, their own stuff that they're dealing with. So just know that if someone is being snappy towards you, if someone is just feeling off, or if someone's being standoffish, or reflecting or deflecting their insecurities on yourself or onto you, don't take it personally. It's okay. It's nothing on them either, because it takes a lot of self work to really understand what you are going through as a person and how you take that out on others. That's a lot of self work, and I think that's hard for performers too, to really focus on that and work through that, because I think growing up, we all have dealt with some sort of mental health situations growing up in dance studios or whatever, because let's be real, this is a very toxic industry. Whether you've grown up being bullied because you were too good, or just in a dance studio environment, or whatever, we have all grown up with some sort of toxic environment. So just don't take it personally. Distance yourself from people who take energy from you or feed off of negativity, talk bad, gossip about others. As performers, it is so easy to get caught up in the drama. We know this. I think performers in general, we are just very dramatic because that is the name of the game. We are performers. We like to go from 0 to 100 because that is our job. We create these characters, these personas. So but it is really important to distance yourself from people. You're like, oh, I don't know who this person is. They seem to really feed into the drama. They seem to feed off of tearing people down. Take a step back away from those people. And it's nothing on them. It's, again, you're protecting yourself. You're protecting your energy. As I've gotten older, I've found out it is not worth the time nor the energy to be around people like that. And again, it's not necessarily anything against them. You have to protect yourself and protect your energy. You're creating those boundaries. And as I've gotten older, it is not worth it. It's just not worth it. We are grown adults. Life is so hard. And I feel like, especially after COVID, life is just so much harder. And we're all dealing with so many things. We're dealing with personal things, family issues. Just dealing with life in general is just so hard. So why are we making it harder for others, saying, oh, this person did this on stage, or this person isn't right for this show. Why did they get cast over me? And then start this whole rumor about them, or so and so said this about me, so I'm going to start this about them. Or this person didn't know what they were doing in the reblock, so like they don't know what they're doing in anyways. So really take a step back away from those people. And yes, it may be hard if they are some people that you do like, but they are really showing them who they are showing you who they really are. So take a step back away from those people. And it's easy to get caught up in that unnecessary drama, especially if you are there consistently. If you're doing 10 to 12 shows a week with these people, or if you're with these people stuck on a cruise ship for 6 to 8 months, it is very hard. However, you need to take that step and displace yourself from that environment. And I'm not saying don't talk to them or just don't hang out with them. I'm just saying do not feed into it. If they start talking bad about someone, just get up and walk away, or literally displace yourself from that conversation. Just be like, okay, my mind is going to go somewhere else, and be like, okay, these people are talking about someone. I necessarily don't need to listen or don't need to respond to this conversation. And that is okay. Your body physically can be there while they're talking about these people, but you don't need to be a part of it. Nope. You just need to just out of sight, out of mind, just displace yourself from that conversation. There are better things in life that we can focus on rather than tearing people down. I just don't see the need for it, and I just think it's just not worth it. There's so many things in life that deserve our energy, and talking about people and gossiping and feeding off negativity is just not the way to go. So that's one thing I very well suggest. Another thing is differentiate what you physically can control, and things you cannot change in your workplace. That was a big deal for me a couple years ago, like literally things you can fix. So talking to people about, hey, these shoes are not working for me. They are actually injuring my feet, or this costume makes me feel very uncomfortable. Is there another option that we can look at? Focus on things like that. Or if it's something that we can't fix, the person who's in charge and they've been there for 20 years, that is unfortunately something we cannot fix. So really focus on things you can fix, and something that you can speak up and say, hey, this is something that's been bothering me. Can we fix it? But don't focus on the things you can't fix, like the timing of your shows or the people who are in charge who have been there for years. Don't focus on things you can't fix. One major thing is do not allow these negative thoughts to rule you and sit and eat at you all the time. Going into my next point, do not let these negative things come home with you. It is very hard to bring your work home with you. I get it. I know I was in a bad place a couple years ago where I would literally come home and just cry to my partner. and I just be like, I'm so sick of how I'm being treated. This is not fair. And I was just a miserable human when I was at home because my workplace was making me so miserable. I should have taken that as a sign saying, this is not making me the person who I want to be. So this is a sign that I need to take a plan, make a plan, and take initiative. But the fact that if your workplace is making you a miserable human at home when you're not even at work, that's a big warning sign. So we really need to look at that. However, also, don't bring your work at home. I know that's really hard, especially if you do work at home. I mean, granted that we're not talking about performance at this point, but it's really hard. My dance teacher growing up had a sign above the door that said, leave your ego at the door. Like, so you know how people are like, leave your problems at the door when you're coming into work. Same thing goes for when you're coming home from work. You leave your work problems at home and you just come home. Your home should be your safe space. So really try to focus on taking those work problems, leaving them at the door. If you need to physically stand in front of your door before you put those keys in the door, take a deep breath in and release and be like, okay, I'm leaving my work problems here and they're not coming home with me. And then open that door, walk through. I know it's weird, but it will make a huge difference. Like there is a difference between venting to your partner and then really just bringing in your problems every single day. That can drain and that can drain your energy. Let's be real. Like that takes a lot of energy out of it. So really just focus on being present and taking that energy from your workplace, letting it go, opening that home door, and making sure your home is your safe space. Next thing, find one or two people. And I know this is kind of hard because you're trying to find people in your workplace that you necessarily, if you do have problems at your workplace, necessarily you don't want to bash your workplace or the company you work for, but you want to find one or two people who you very confidently trust and can talk to, because I know I've been in certain situations where I've told people about what I've been going through at my workplace. However, the only people who know what you are dealing with are the people who are dealing with that same work environment, who are in that environment with you. So find one or two people who you can really confide in and really trust. And sometimes it helps talking it out with them and being like, hey, have you been feeling this? Because I've been feeling this. And then sometimes it's them even saying, yes, I've been feeling that. So you're not going crazy and being like, am I going crazy? Am I really thinking this is happening? Or am I overthinking this? And even just someone acknowledging it, saying, no, like I feel this too. Like, don't worry, you're not alone. That is a huge stress and relief off of your shoulders. And I know that's terrible to say because really your workplace should be a great place to be. But I know ideally as performers, it's sad to say, most of our workplaces aren't 100% great all the time. So find one or two people that you can really confide in and like go to and be like, hey, what do I do? Help me with this situation. And sometimes talking to them maybe they can be like, hey, I know this is not the greatest, but maybe think about it this way, and they can make you see it in a different light. So find one or two really good people who you can confide in and like talk things through and be your confidants. Like I have one really, really good friend and she's one of my best friends, and she helped me through a very, very dark time. But she was also someone who was behind me 100% and said, no, Melody, this is not okay. This is not okay how they are treating you. And it made me feel like I wasn't alone, like I wasn't going crazy, like I wasn't being told all these things that this certain person was telling me. And because it was a very hard time, it was a very dark place for me, and it took me a while to drag myself out. But she still reminds me to this day, like the way they treated you was not okay. And I'm very grateful for her and for her support, because I don't know if I didn't have her support at that point in my life and that time when I was going through that really hard time with my workplace environment, I don't know where I would be mentally. It was very dark, but I'm very glad I had someone who was in the same environment and saw what was happening to me personally, and she understood. She saw, she heard, and she saw, and she sorry, brain fart. She understood and said, Melody, I see you. You are not wrong. You are okay. I'm here to support you in any way I can. And so find one or two people that, like, to have people in your corner is great. This is just one thing. If you do work from home, or actually, as performers, we are told, take no days off, like only take the days you are given, whatever. Take breaks, take time off. If you are given 4 days off, take those 4 days. It is okay to say no. No is a full, complete sentence. I feel performers, we are kind of like people pleasers. I think that's just the name of the game. That's how we are. We want to please everyone. We just want to make people happy as performers, because like we love bringing people joy. We love like seeing the smile on people's faces. So saying no is very hard for us, and not essentially letting people down, but speaking for ourselves and our bodies is very hard as well. So saying no is a full sentence. So covering shows when you aren't available, or when you're doggone tired, when I mean you have nothing left in your tank to give, and you get a phone call saying, hey, can you come in an hour and cover a show? And you're like, it is okay to say no. If you're not scheduled to come in that day and you need a night to rest, your body needs a night to rest, and you are not scheduled, say no. It is okay. I am telling you, it is okay. I'm sorry. That's just how it is. If you're not scheduled, if you're not getting extra pay, it is okay to say no. So take that time. If you need to take a break, it is okay. You are fully okay, because we are so hard on our bodies, let alone our minds and our brains too. But like, we put our bodies through so much. So it is okay to take a break. We don't need to be going 24/7. Currently, where I live, typically we do 10, 11-month contracts, and sometimes we can get time off, but most of the time we can't. And it's very hard on our bodies to take all this time doing these 10, 11-month contracts without a good, proper chunk of time off. So if you have swings who are available to cover for you, take a week off. It's gonna take a week off, or take 3 days off this month, and then a couple months later take 3 months off. 3 days off, and a couple months later. Your body is going to thank you, and I think your mind is going to thank you too, because burnout is real. Burnout is a thing. So take care of yourself. That's all I'm saying. We aren't made to work 24/7. We have a livelihood outside of work, and we need to realize that. We are not a slave to our job. We are not, when we sign contracts, it may feel like we're signing our life away, but we are not. We are not a slave to our job. It doesn't say we demand 24/7 of your time. That's not what we're doing here. We deserve and need to have a life outside of our job. Our job is not us. And I think that's also a self-identity thing. We'll talk about that later. But take breaks and live your life outside of your job. Yes, I know we all love performing, and I know we live to perform, and we are very grateful for performing jobs, especially after COVID. But make sure you have fun and have a livelihood outside of work. That's all I'm saying. Also, okay, now going into my next chunk, this is more businessy aspect, following the rules type thing. Find an advocate for you. It's typically your dance captain, your show captain, production manager, HR. Make sure that this person who is appointed, like your dance captain, production manager, make sure that person is a proper advocate for your cast. I've had great show captains. I've had show captains. But these people are appointed for these positions for a specific reason. And one of these reasons is to be an advocate for their cast. I know when I'm typically a show captain, dance captain, I'm an advocate for my cast, because I want my cast to be happy. If my cast is happy, then they are going to put out the best product. So speak up for yourself. Tell your show captain if you need shoes. Tell your show captain if you don't feel comfortable with the conditions of the show. Tell your show captain that if there's problems going backstage, like if there's unprofessional things happening on stage, like you need to say these things and speak up, because if these things aren't said, then how are they going to fix them? Obviously, say them in a professional manner regardless. But like if these things aren't said, how are they going to be fixed? So be an advocate for yourself. I know it's a scary thing to say, hey, I want to talk to you about something that's been kind of bothering me. And I feel like sometimes too, we don't like to bother people, but these are not bothers. Like if you need different shoes, you need to say something because you could possibly get injured. If there's a mess on the floor or on the stage or on the cement, if you're performing outside, again, that's a safety hazard. So like really, really make sure that your show captain, production manager, HR is an advocate for yourself and for your cast. Hopefully they are a great advocate. I know it's not all great, but they should be a great advocate for you. And again, if they don't know about it, how are they going to be able to fix the problem? Okay, we're going to get into the nitty gritty towards this end. If you are 100% not okay with your work environment and you hate your job, we are going to make a plan and we're going to work on that plan to get you out of there. Be proactive, brainstorm ideas, submit. You're just going to submit everywhere and be like, okay, I'm not happy here, but yet I'm going to get myself out of here. We're going to submit, open myself to all these opportunities, and whatever is going to come in my lap is going to come in my lap, and that'll be my way out. And you're going to develop a plan. Get out, and you can still get out. That's okay. It is okay to leave a contract if it is not serving you. If it is not serving you, then what is it doing? Brainstorm ideas, take small steps to a better future, and it may even make your situation better because you have a plan and you're working on something better. So it's taking that negative thoughts and that energy that you're focusing on. Oh, this is so bad. I hate this. Excuse me. I hate going into work every day. Oh, this is terrible. It's taking that energy away because you're focusing on something better. So ideally that could help a little bit because you're like, okay, this has now become a temporary thing because I'm focusing on getting myself out of here. So that may help your attitude as well. Plus, it takes your mind and energy off. Again, that negative environment, huge. So make a plan, work on that plan. We're going to get you out of there. It is what it is. So you're going to make that plan, work on it every day. Again, small steps lead to big things. So again, it doesn't have to be, oh my God, okay, I'm going to do this and I'm going to be out here in a week. It may not happen that quickly, but at least you're making those steps to take yourself out of that environment. Okay, my last point and my biggest thing that I'm a true person. If it is not serving you, it's okay to walk away. Because we're at this, I'm at this point in my life at least. If it is not serving me, then what's the point? Friendships, jobs, relationships, I don't know, food, clothes. If it is not serving you, walk away from it. Yes, I understand contracts are a thing, but if it is not serving you, if it is wrecking your mental health terribly, if it is coming to the point where you are coming home crying every single day, or if you're sitting in your car bawling before you go into work, walk away. It is okay. You will not be a failure, because that's what I thought. You're actually doing yourself a favor and you're staying true to yourself. So it is okay. Listen to your brain. Listen to your mind and your heart. If it is not serving you anymore, just walk away. I understand, again, contracts are a thing, but I'm not talking about that. If a work environment is so detrimental to your mental health, and like you are not happy anymore, and you have literally done all the things I have talked about. You have talked to your show captain, you have talked to HR, you have even talked to your production, your producer, your, I don't even know, casting director, HR, like you've literally tried everything. You've tried not even like talking to anyone, like you've tried taking down your show count. I don't know. But if it is not serving you anymore and you are in a place where you can take that financial hit, it's time to go. Like, that is me giving you some tough love. Again, that's me just in any aspect of my life right now. If it's not serving you and if it's not giving you what you are giving it, it's time to go. So I hope this live was helpful. Again, I kind of like hit some bullet points just to walk through a tricky work environment. I could get really detailed, but I don't want to be that person. But I hope this helped. Again, it's Coach Mel here, and I hope you're having a lovely Sunday. And I will talk to you guys soon. I'll talk to you later. Have a wonderful day. Bye.